Well, hey everybody, it's so great to be with you today. Leadership lessons over lunch, and hopefully that you're staying engaged with us throughout the week, whether it be our daily devotions. Every morning, I believe at 8 o'clock, we have different people from our WEC staff sharing with you just a powerful way to start the day. And of course, we have all kinds of other topics that are coming up. Even, I think, tomorrow morning, we have a devotional at 8 o'clock. So make sure you stay tuned with us in that. And of course, always on Sundays, with our experience happening, we want to make sure you stay engaged with us with that as well. But anyways, I'm glad to be with you today, just as we talk about leadership. And I tell you, we're living in times where leadership is so important. And you're probably wondering, what can I do to have a voice in our country, maybe in our community, to deal with the things that we're dealing with. We're talking about a pandemic that's happening over the last 2.5, 3 months, it seems like. We're talking about all the protests and the riots that are happening all around our country. And a lot of words come to mind with people when you interview them or when you hear interviews on TV about what it means to be a leader. Leaders speaking up and having a voice. Well, today I want to talk with you a little bit about what can you do and what can I do to be a leader that God is calling us to be in times that we're living in. I remember not too long ago, there was two words we kind of made a correlation with, and it was faith and it was fear. Having faith will always override fear. And I tell you, we're living in a culture, a society where there is fear because of reactions of certain individuals, situations that are causing fear in people's lives. Well, I'm going to tell you today, if you are leading someone, either in your home, it could be your spouse, it could be your kids, it could be somebody at your work, there's a key word I want you to write down today. And there's 5 points today I want to talk with you about what you can do to be a courageous leader. So courage is the key word today, and I tell you, we got to be more courageous now than ever before when we rethink what it takes for us to be leaders. And so number one today, if you're taking notes, I need you to be with me for about 10 minutes and we're going to be done. I promise you 10 minutes. So number one, courageous leaders challenge what is for the sake of what could and should be. Let me repeat that. Number one, courageous leaders challenge what is for the sake of what could and should be. What does that mean? Well, a leader is the one that has the courage to initiate and set out in a new direction. Let's just say, for example, you've been comfortable in a situation or a position for a long period of time, and due to the situation and the world we're living in today, God may be calling you to rethink what you're currently doing as far as leadership is today. They act on what they see. And so in your leadership, you're going to need to act on what you're seeing versus just taking the day for what it is. And today I want to challenge you today to make sure that you act on what you're seeing is happening in our country, in our world today. A leader may not always be the first person to see an opportunity, but they are often the first one to seize an opportunity. So we see things happening in our world today, and maybe even in your community today, and you're seeing them for what they are, but you know what? Often do leaders seize the opportunities. So the application for point number one today for you is maybe today God is calling you to seize an opportunity and rethink what you're currently doing to be more of an influencer tomorrow. That's courageous leadership. Seizing the opportunity, y'all. Number two today is courageous leaders do difficult things. Oh my goodness. I don't know about you, but there's been times where I've had to do a lot of difficult things, particularly over the last 2.5 months. I've pretty much had to just scrap everything I've ever learned and be like, okay, God, what are you calling me to do over this crazy culture we're living in, this situation we're living in? But leaders, courageous leaders, you got to do difficult things. And what does that mean? Leaders take people to places they have never been before. For those of you that lead in a corporation, a business, or maybe those of you listening, you're leading at your church. Here at Waters Edge Church, think about all of our staff, our leaders, people that are putting time and time after leading people, caring for people. Well, I can tell you that leaders have to take people to places that they have never been before. And so if you're leading people today, Maybe God's asking you or calling you to say, you know what, I need to start taking my people to places that they've never been before. Here's what else that means. Leaders require those around them to abandon the known and to embrace the unknown with no guarantee of success. Let me repeat that. Talking about doing difficult things, point number 2. Here's another note. Leaders require those around them to abandon the known and embrace the unknown with no guarantee of success. So for all of us that lead, we're used to a known. We're used to things that are just the new normal, whatever it is that we're embracing now. I can tell you right now, today, that as leaders, we have to embrace the unknown, and we don't know what that's going to do. That can be scary, y'all. I know there's situations and conversations I'm involved with pretty much on a daily basis of embracing things that I have never embraced before, not even knowing what the results are going to be. That can be very, very scary. Number 3 today, if you're still with me, I hope you are. My voice keeps cracking. Courageous leaders walk in the dark. Courageous leaders are going to learn to walk in the dark. And I understand we as believers, as Christ followers, are supposed to be a light. But the light has to go find the darkness. And that's where you're going to shine the most as leaders. Leading can conjure up many of the same feelings of fear as taking a walk in the dark. And what that means is when you see darkness happening in our society, in our culture today, we have to learn how to walk in that darkness, and we have to embrace it. While darkness is the uncertainty that always accompanies change, the darkness can always also provide the leader with their greatest opportunity. Let me repeat that again. Opportunities are all around us, particularly in the world we're living in today. So let me repeat that again. Point number 3. While darkness is the uncertainty that always accompanies change, right? There's change happening. There's darkness happening in our world. The darkness also provides the leader with their greatest opportunity. So here's what that means for you and I today as followers of Jesus. When darkness is happening in our culture, in our society, we as leaders, it's time for us to be courageous and have the voice to know that God's going to give you the greatest opportunity to lead. Come on, y'all. You got to believe that. You got to tell yourself that today. It's pretty strong. Number 4 today, hopefully you're still with me. Number 4, courageous leaders are not without fear. Here's what that means is that you're normal. There's probably thoughts that come into your mind that you may be a little scared. You may have had some panic attacks here and there because of what's happening in our world or maybe with your job. But without fear, there would be no need for courage. Without fear, there's no need for courage. So you're going to have fear. Courage is the ability and the willingness to carry out fears and harness the energy that comes with fear into the unknown. Let me repeat that again. Without fear, there would be no need for courage. Courage is the ability and the willingness to carry out fears and harness energy that comes with fear into the unknown. That's so strong. The individual who refuses to move until the fear and uncertainty are gone will never move and consequently will never lead. Let me repeat that again. We're on point number 4. The individual who refuses to move until the fear and uncertainty are gone. Let's just say you're leading in your church, here at Water's Edge Church. You're ready to lead when the fear is gone. Hey, Pastor Ben, when things get back to normal, then I'm going to be a better leader. Well, hey, when things get better at my job, then I'm going to start being a better leader. Well, I can tell you, if you're waiting till then to be a stronger leader, it's probably never going to happen. God may be calling you to lead in uncertainty to make you stronger today, and that's going to take courage. And people are looking for that kind of leadership today, for courageous leadership. The outcome of unbridled fear is a missed opportunity. Let me repeat that. The outcome of unbridled fear is a missed opportunity. And finally, number 5 today, as we close out, as a leader, you have no idea what hangs in the balance of your decision to act courageously. As a leader, you have no idea what hangs in the balance of your decision to act courageously. And so what does that mean for you and I today is that you're going to need to pray and ask God to say, God, give me ways that I can funnel that fear I have to lead courageously, maybe with your family today, maybe with your spouse, or maybe if you're a single parent, maybe trying to parent those kids, is that there's uncertainty happening. Well, I can tell you that what hangs in the balance of you deciding to say, you know what, I'm just going to stay comfortable and just wait for all this to go away before I lead. Well, today maybe God's asking you to let that go and say, you know what, I need you to lead despite fear you're facing. And that can be scary. And so today, leadership lesson over lunch, my challenge to you today is to live courageously. Go back through these notes, these points, and talk through yourself and say, hey, what can I do to be a better, courageous leader today? And watch what God does in your life and to the people that you lead. Well, guys, that's it for leadership lessons over lunch today. I gave you 5 points. Go back, check them out, and I pray that it will help you during this time of uncertainty that we're in to live without fear. Have a great day, everybody.